Vlogpasters Season 5. I don't wanna.
Welcome to the Vlogpasters Podcast, a podcast all about the stories and strategies of sharing God's love in the digital world. Now, here are two pastors that love to put a camera in their face and walk around in public. They are the Harry and Lloyd of digital ministry, Jarrod Brown and Joshua Verwers.
Welcome to the Vlogpasters Podcast. I am Joshua Verwers.
And I'm Jarrod Brown, and this is episode 59.
And whether you're listening to the audio version or you happen to be watching the video either live or replaying, we just want to thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. And if you want to help shape the conversation, you can do so every Wednesday, 10:30 in the a.m. Actually, even the pre-show, we've been on for over an hour hanging out, catching up. But you can shape the course of whatever we discuss on a given Wednesday, live and in person.
That's right. And on today's episode, we are talking about the Vlogpasters, the series, a daily vlogging series that Jarrod and I have done dating back to 2019, and we've had four episodes and a mini season or 4 seasons and a mini season in there, and we're talking about, is there going to be a season 5? Should there be a season 5? Should we just say, hey, we're like most television programs out there where they peaked at like the 3rd or 4th season, and then they just write it off and sail off into the blue yonder? That's what we're discussing today. So for those that are joining us live, if you've got some thoughts on there, I welcome them. I will just come right out the gate and let you all know what Jarrod already knows. I'm resistant to the idea of this because I think I am still suffering some post-traumatic stress from the other seasons. So, Jarrod, what are your thoughts?
Let me just say, I'm so proud of you for entertaining this idea. I am, because you have been adamant about making sure that we all know you will never do it again.
Never.
So what in the world has changed your mind to even consider it?
You.
I've been on you for, what is it? Because is it persistent? Am I the persistent widow?
Yes. Yes. No, the persistence, and all of a sudden, because you're so persistent and you don't seem as traumatized by it as I do, or you don't appear as traumatized as I feel, then I'm sitting there and I'm reevaluating my situation and my position, which I think is healthy for us to do as Christians. You know, when everybody else is kind of looking at things in a different light, maybe we need to reevaluate how are we seeing things, and is the way we're seeing them still valid, or are we seeing it through some cloudy lenses? And that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm wondering if maybe I have not cleaned these glasses off enough from all of the debris of the prior seasons. And yeah, it's been your persistence and talking about it. And, you know, your recent vlog talking about nostalgia and little things bring up. And, of course, I see our little intro now every single week. And it has that video clip right at the end where it transitions in, where you and I were sitting there and we're walking out from the hotel and in that long little hallway before we went up the stairs or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And you were doing the outro on yours, and you always do the cap flip. And I'm behind you, and I just grabbed my cap, and I flipped it up over your head, and it actually hit.
Not
it was like
planned.
Not planned. No. Completely spontaneous. But because we have grown this friendship, and we are familiar with each other and each other's content, I saw the cues, knew what was coming, and just thought I'd try to beat you to the punch. And so I see that, and it reminds me of that trip, and it reminds me of the moments inside there where I did have fun. And so now I'm reevaluating and I'm thinking ROI, the return on investment, does the benefit outweigh the negatives with it? And so I'm opening myself up to what if, big if, capital I, capital F, if we were to entertain a season 5, is there a way for us to do a season 5 that, one, is entertaining to the audience and hopefully encouraging as well, 2, enjoyable for us, and 3, I have no idea what 3 would be, but it's got to be at least entertaining, encouraging, and enjoyable. There's the 3. So I don't know. I mean, we've talked about it. We've bounced some ideas around.
I didn't think you would come back. So we've switched. We've totally flip-flopped. We've totally flip-flopped on this because after season, was it 2 or 1? I don't know. It was 1 or 2. We did a full-blown, each season we tried to do better and better and better. One season we kind of mailed it in, I would say. And not really. I mean, we just tried to incorporate a whole bunch of people in with us. But there was that season 2 where, holy cow, man, that broke me. And I remember, so I know what you're talking about, PTSD. Yeah. My wife was like, don't ever do this again. I was thinking, you don't have to worry about it. We're never going to do this again. Like it was insane. Just the pace, the back and forth, because I think in that season we hadn't ironed out all the kinks. I don't know that we ever did, but we didn't iron out all the kinks of getting the idea and the concept to the other person in a timely manner. And so,
correct. Or
maybe you would come out with a new schedule of like how we were going to do it. And my brain wasn't wrapping around that process.
That's what it was.
It was like every day was a full film, edit, get it posted, uploaded, no matter what the internet's like, just go.
So here's where I had to go back and I had to think about this. And it was going back and it was looking at those different seasons. And that's where, when I looked back at the seasons, when I started to check it out and see what was this, what did we actually do? And I'll actually kind of pull up just to kind of give us an idea if I can. I'm going to try to see if I can
play some greatest hits up in here. All right.
Well, I mean, I'm at least going to see if I can try to mute myself before I start talking real fast. But I want to pull up some of these. Just pull up the seasons here so we can see. Okay, so season 1, if I remember right.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So season 1, I'm trying to look at that stuff. This was the one where I think you were doing the Heart of Many Colors, right? And so there was a moment where you had left for a few episodes. Yeah, because it was somewhere in here. Yeah, like there's a stretch here where it was just me doing 5 in a row. But that was one where we didn't know what our next video was going to be, what we were supposed to answer the question until that morning. So it was like we had to watch the other person's video and get the answer, to get the question to be able to vlog. But when it came to season 2, this was the one where I remember you were in a whole lot more on this. I think you did all of them. Maybe one of us missed a day or something in there.
I think each one of us missed one that time.
And that first season, if I remember right, I think there were a couple of them that I even wound up doing like just a live stream or two, or maybe that was prior in Vlogmas. I can't remember. But this one, that's where we had changed up the strategy. And what I was trying to put forward is, what if you and I, we answered our own question and then asked, like we alternated. So we would ask a question, but we both had to answer our question. And the reason I was doing that, because I was thinking, well, hey, I can record 2 videos in one day, so I don't have to record and edit every day. And that's where I remember back on this, you were struggling with that to try to wrap your mind out around how to do that.
Still do. Like when you mentioned it just now, I'm like,
because that was the one, like if I remember right, that was when we did zombies, right?
Oh man, I don't know.
Let's see if I can go back here and find, I think that's the one where we did the zombies, we did the lightning round in that season, if I remember right. Is this maybe? Yeah, it was Vlogmas, so it would have been. Yeah, State Fair, zombie survival. That was the one, like that day of the zombie survival was perfect because if I remember right, that was like the same day that we were going up as a family and hitting the State Fair. And so I was able to answer your question about the zombie survival and then start the next one for the state fair foods because, hey, I'm on the ketogenic diet. I can take one day out so I can go hit Zombie Burger for lunch, and then we're hitting the state fair right after that. So what I did is I recorded 2 of those on that day, got home, edit the first one, put it out, edit the second one really fast, and now that next day is already there. So I had a full day off where I didn't have to do anything other than just watch. So that's where I was like, do 2 videos, have a day off, 2 videos, have a day off was the plan. It took me about a week, but I was able to get into it. But I remember you weren't able to do that. So
I never got into it.
That second season was the one where you struggled on that one.
Oh yeah.
If I'm thinking back on it.
Oh yeah. That
and
took
then we wound
everything in the kitchen sink to get season 2 done. Because I remember like you were talking about days off, and I'm like, how in the world is this cat getting days off? This is a full-time deal. Like this is every ounce of creativity. If we want to put anything in, because I remember there's a time with Vlogpastors, you can just answer the question.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's almost where I am now. Like I just answer the question, go for it. But there's a part of you that wants to like, you want to do better. You want to make it entertaining. You want to bring people along for like the story behind the story kind of a deal. So you're answering the question as you go, and that's more fun. And I remember it like you had to do something every day, and not every day do you do something. So like you are planning to go out and talk about this topic, and that's a whole energy suck.
Yep.
Mental energy suck. And then you're like, oh wait, I forgot. I have to ask him a question too. So now we got to go either back out to the same spot that we just were, or figure out a creative way to ask the question and get ready for. Yeah, I remember. I didn't get it. Long story short, I did not get it. And at the end of season 2, I was absolutely
I
done.
think we were both done.
And I was thinking this is a great place to stop it. Now, why did we start again? Was that because we went to Vegas?
Yes, and that was you. I'm throwing you under the proverbial bus on this one because
how are you supposed to go to Vegas though and not vlog it?
I was good with that. I was good with season 2.1. Like this was fine for me. Everything was good. Everything was great. Everything was wonderful until we're sitting here in the airport and we're getting ready to leave, and you guys probably can't even hear that, can you?
I can.
So, essentially, what happens here, because I can't figure out why the audio's... Oh, wait, there it is. Here, let's back up. I had the system audio muted for a second. 2 point... Jarrod?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a wrap for us for Vlogpastors season 2.1.
2.1? That must mean there's a 2.5.
He doesn't know what he's saying. He knows not what he says.
See, so that's what happened is you, my good friend. I was sitting here and thinking, okay, we were done, and this was going to be kind of a one-off where it was just a little mini season just because we were in person, so we'll do that. And then that last day, you were talking about, I think we need to do another season. I'm like, what? And you were like, yeah, I think we need to do it.
Because he's a young, excited, you can see it in his eyes, loves to vlog, just excited about digital ministry. Somebody's talking to me in the background. Who is that? Get back. Get behind me. Anyway, he's excited. He obviously has not edited that footage yet. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay. Vegas was a blast. Vegas was a blast because we got to. Hey, I mean, I'll tell you what was fun for me was whenever we're at day 1 and we're walking down that big hallway that goes to whatever the name of the conference was. That goes to the conference room. And we're walking down that hallway and I'm doing an intro, or maybe you're doing the intro. I can't remember. I think I was doing the intro. And I knew the transition that I wanted to do. And like we didn't communicate at all.
Not at all.
And whether it was you or me that took the camera, it was back in the days where we're talking, hey, welcome, whatever it is, value with video, or no, that's a Trace thing, whatever it is. Anyway, welcome to such and such here at the thing, and I let go of the camera, and I grabbed it. You grabbed it and went away from, and that was like how the reveal was to the audience that you were going to be there. And that was where I was like, oh, we're in the zone.
Yeah, and we
We
were
got a thing
because
going here.
like that one and then like at the last one with the hat flip, those were things we didn't talk about. And I think because we knew each other and we knew each other's content so well, we've got a similar vision in how we want things to look. And I kind of related this back to in the day, back when I was doing pro wrestling. Pro wrestling's a big dance. I mean, and that's what it is. It is choreographed fight scenes. So it is like dancing, and you've got to have a good dance partner. And my best matches were always with my brothers, or then my tag partner after he and I had been tag team wrestling for, I don't know, multiple years. Because all of a sudden you've just gotten so used to people that you start to turn a certain way, you tilt your head a certain way, a shoulder drops, you know where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do without ever communicating anything verbally. And that's kind of where we were on that one where, I mean, I remember you standing at the hall and I don't remember talking about that. Like, I just remember you were kind of holding it out and I was kind of listening to what you were saying and I was walking over and it was like you had just started a turn and I just reached out and grabbed. And that was a cool moment. And I think if I remember right, there was somebody actually recording us doing that. And so there's actually some behind the scenes of it. And I remember seeing it. I just haven't been able to find it. But yeah, that was the stuff where it was really cool to do that. And we were in the zone. So when you had said we should do another season, you saw my face. I was like, ooh, I'm excited to do this. Maybe it'll be like this. But then got home and reality set in and it was like, maybe we don't want to do that. And we kept trying to figure out how do we do this? Because if I remember right, I think your wife and my wife were both against the idea of us doing another one. They're like, hey, you were out in Vegas. That's fine. You go ahead and do what you got to do because I wasn't going to see you anyways. But now you're back home and I'm going to see you. Where the first two seasons, like the first season for sure, my wife never saw me. Like I was going to bed when she was waking up. Just because I was up all night trying to edit to get that thing out. And I know season 2 was really like that as well, other than I was getting a day off here and there. But then what are we going to do for season 3? And we had talked about season 3 and what it was going to be. And the only way I could wrap my mind around doing it was we had to spread the workload. And so that's what we wound up doing for season 3. We wound up bringing in the other guys, which it was great. I mean, because I
loved it.
We had me in there, Dennis, Clint, Ken, Trey, Chase, and you. And so what wound up working well for this one was that we only had one day a week that we really had to mess with anything. And I think I doubled up at the beginning, and then I want to say maybe at the end where I kind of capped it off or something. Maybe it was just the beginning. Oh, there was one other day that somebody couldn't upload. And so I had done a back-to-back somewhere, if I remember right. But that one, it was fun. However, on that season, I do remember talking to different people, getting some feedback on it. And one of the biggest feedbacks that I got was a negative form of feedback, not as in just all bad, but more of a constructive thing. It didn't feel as united as when you and I were doing them. There was a little bit of it being disjointed, where it just felt like each of us were doing our own thing and throwing it in there. Fair, because that's kind of how it played out. And that was honestly part of my theory in going into it, to do it that way.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that. I enjoyed that. Of course, I enjoyed that season because it was a carrying of the workload and collaboration with a bunch of people. Didn't have to work quite as hard, and I thought it was going to be amazing because we would be taking all of our collective audiences and giving them something that was kind of unique. Yeah. And that's not the way. This is like typical for my experience with YouTube. I love it. I'm jazzed about it, but the audience isn't there, or they don't necessarily like the elements that I liked about it. I liked having all the different perspectives and the collaboration and everything. And then like the audience is like, yeah, but we wanted to see but that's not
Yeah.
why we're here. We want anyway. Like you said,
Right.
it was a little disjointed. And I think if we're being honest, part of that. Sorry for my dog yipping in the background. He's
You're fine.
decided that he's just gonna lose his mind today. Part of
It was my dog's last week, so
oh man, I'll digress. That's a story for another time. But I will say I love the guys for hopping in and taking a risk and a
Yeah.
chance with us and the show. But I will say it was a measured. I felt like it was a little measured on some of their parts. Some of these guys went all in and went for it, and I love them for it. And
Right.
some of the guys, maybe they did, but it just was perceived like it was a measured. Like, yeah, I do this. I'm going to do this thing for you. You know, I'll post a video or two on your
Yeah.
deal and appreciate what you guys do. We're same team.
Yeah.
Where I felt like if they would have dove in with us, I think I don't know. I think it could have been a different animal. I think it could have been a very different animal.
Yeah, and I don't know, because to me, like, even as we came out of it, you know, getting the constructive criticism about it feeling a little bit disconnected, I was picking up on that pretty much right out the gate, and I was starting, and again, this is nobody's fault except for mine, because the whole idea
Yeah,
was
it's
mine.
yours. Yeah.
This one's on me.
No.
Us doing a season 3 was Jarrod starting it. The way we did it was all on me. But I wanted to take that risk. I wanted to try it out. I wanted to, you know, also try to give some of the other vlog pastors a little bit of an opportunity to try something different, a little creatively, and just kind of push them a little bit. So it was like, let's try this. And to help our audiences maybe pick up on another channel that might provide them the encouraging content that they've been used to with ours. So that was kind of the theory behind it. But I was picking up on it being a little disconnected, and I started to think maybe this is a case of too many cooks in the kitchen type of a deal, where it started to spread out a little bit too much. And the other part of it that was difficult, and it was difficult for even our seasons, is for people to follow the progression of the overall story of that season.
Yeah.
They had to keep bouncing back and forth between channels. So my channel one day, your channel the next day, my channel, then your channel. And then we got to season 3. And even though I think I was maybe pushing them out or sharing them in the community tab, whatever, they had to go to everybody's channel. Every day it was a new channel that they had to bounce over to. And I know some of them were...
I don't think they did.
I don't think everybody did. I think there was going to be my analytics 9% that did. You know,
Well, that was
was
mine
like-
too, because I could hear back
Yeah.
from my audience, and they were like, "Hey, we're not watching everybody. We're just, we're watching you and Joshua." We don't know them, and they're all of a sudden they're popping in and they're talking about whatever it is, and it was
Right.
like, that's again the example of I thought it was great. Those guys
Yeah.
did an amazing job. They really,
did.
truly did. But
It was
like,
fun. It was a
didn't
lot
transfer.
easier for us that time.
Oh man.
Like there was one day, and I do remember that somebody couldn't make an episode on a certain day, and so it wasn't that I doubled up. I swapped with them, I think is what it was. So there was like 2 of us that bumped up a day, and then it was just a switch. So I mean, it was just that I had to record an extra one on a different day, but everybody did a good job, and it was fun, and it was a lot less work for us. But return on investment, benefit analysis, I don't think it was really there. And that season, it felt like it started to lose a little bit of the
Oh yeah.
shine.
You said it just a minute ago. You said, "What about shows that go too long?" And that
Yeah.
was the first time I thought, "Uh-oh,
Yep.
we might have gone a touch too long," because Vegas was fun, exciting. Let's do something like that again. And then we hit season 3, and I was like, which even now, as I'm talking, I'm like, I don't want to be the old people talking about the glory days of the show,
Correct.
even though I enjoyed it. Which is why, if we were to, and I don't know where we're going with this, but if we were to do a season, whatever we are, 4 or 5, what did we do 4? Let's cover that
So
first.
we did.
Let's cover that first.
Season 4, this was 2020, Christmas of COVID, we did Vlogmas. So you go back, the very first one we did was in Veda for season 1, and then we wound up doing Vlogust. And then we did nothing until the following September, because that would have been 2019. No, 2018. I don't even remember now.
I'm going to trust you on it. I don't know. It's been a while.
Anyways, December of 2021 or 2020 is what it's saying here. So we did Vlogmas of 2020, and that was season 4. And we went back to just you and I doing those. We changed this one up because we had challenges inside there. And this was, I think, mostly my idea, if I remember right.
I don't think so. I think this was me.
I thought it was me because, like, I wanted challenges.
No, we needed to spice it up. We needed something to take it up. And I'll concede that maybe I remember.
So we both enjoyed
it. Yeah. I remember being passionate about the challenges because that was going to be, again, appreciation to the guys who helped out on that previous season. It wasn't their thing. It was something to do with our audience they weren't jiving with it. And so this was a way to kind of reclaim that it's not something stale. It's not season 2. It's something different.
And we had a lot of different topics that we covered on there. We did some challenges. Maybe the funnest challenge that I'm not sure it worked, but it was the one I was most excited about was the Sunday sermon, where we had to, quoting movies in my sermon. So we had to sneak in hidden phrases.
I think I failed that one. I think
did.
That was the only one that I failed that I didn't get a chance to do because I totally forgot about it.
Yeah. So, that was stuff that it was fun. That was the one where I fell off my roof because we did the recreating Christmas movie scenes. You took a chainsaw to your house.
That was fun.
That was a fun season. And this one we did a little bit differently because it was a daily vlog for the viewers, but it wasn't necessarily a daily vlog for us. I think it was more a daily vlog for you. But if I remember right on this one, here, we'll play and see if I can pull this up too. Again, hold on. That's again not doing that. Why is it? Where is the? Yeah, for some reason now it's not playing the system audio in here. But essentially this was, I sang from the past, and November 21st is what I just said. So that was when I recorded this one. So a week and a half ahead of time is how far ahead I was on this, because we had set everything out. And I think it was actually by November 1st, if I remember right, I had created like a Google Sheets document or a Trello or something. And we had each day laid out with the topics. There was some type of a calendar or whatever it was. And we had that laid out by November 1st. If I remember right, I think I actually started it just before Thanksgiving because we were trying to ease the burden on us.
Yeah.
Where it's not like we had to go through in Christmas, that Christmas season, which is already busy for pastors, and try to put out, a brand new one every single day. So we'd given ourselves a little bit of room on that. I think I took more advantage of that than you did, if I remember right.
No, I think I got about 4 ahead. Here's what happens with me every time. And it's still a thing. And I'm sure you can relate. You can relate to some extent, but you're able to somehow close the chapter on it. So I got about 4 days ahead, I want to say. Got 4 vlogs in the bank. I'm feeling good about it. We're pushing up closer to time. Life's going on. We always tend to vlog around holidays or church events for some reason. And I'm getting into it. And I do this deal where I want to up my game. And for some reason, I choose vlog, pastor, season, whatever, to do that. And so I'm like, okay, I've been kind of stale. I've made 4 videos that I feel like I've kind of mailed 1 or 2 of them in. I want to up my game, and I want to make each one from here on in really good. And so starting with video, whatever it was, 5, I just started pouring heart and soul into this thing, which I appreciate long term, because I don't know if you've gone back and looked at any of your videos. We made some killer stuff, man. We
We
made
did.
some killer stuff. I think
We
it
did.
holds up over the years. Like it still would be digestible today. It would still go. It would still pass. There's some cringeable moments, but I think for the most part, those videos were incredible, and
Yeah.
they took time. So
Yeah.
I made 1 through 4, 1 through 5, whatever it was, to get me started. And then I took my time, and I probably took 2 or 3 days on the next one, 2 or 3 days on the next one. And that lead time shrunk to where I
Shrunk
was
down.
then, middle of the month, just cranking them in real time, never sleeping, the usual.
Yeah, and like I have occasionally I will go back just to watch some of our old episodes, because there are some really good ones. And like that first season, man, that was the wild wild west of vlog pastors. Like, because we didn't know each other that really that well. Like, we used that season to get to know each other, so we were asking questions to try to get to know each other. Like, I remember the two that stand out probably the most to me was it from somebody that didn't know us and know our hearts. It could look like we were firing shots at each other, trying to get each other upset. Because there was one that you had asked me about, I don't know, like one of the deepest valleys that you've crawled out of, or something like that. However you word your 4-part question.
Yeah. First part.
So you had done that one, and I talked about our marriage struggles. And that was one that I remember you had saying, sending me a message about, sorry, man, didn't think that's where we were heading type of a deal.
Well,
And
we had agreed early on that, like, hey, we're open books. That's how
open.
we live our lives. We want to be open on digital
Ask.
ministry as well. If we ever cross any sort of line,
Yep.
we're going to be
Just let
honest
each
with
other
one
know, yeah.
another. Yeah, and say that was a little bit too far. Let's not do that. So I was kind of checking in to go,
Yeah.
well, okay, that looks
Yeah,
personal.
and yep, and that's where, and then the hard part about that was because on that video, I had just asked you about kids, and I remember one of the first comments that somebody had made, and it was somebody that came over from your channel, was like, "Oh, you thought Jarrod's question for you was a tough one," and I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, what do you mean?" So it was like it wasn't making sense to me, like what I had said or what it was. And then when you checked in the next day, it was like, did I overstep, or did you overstep, or where was it? But those were like, we had some really cool videos that we made during that time. And then like the season 2, we just started to get really like fun and creative, because we brought back like the lightning round, and we spoofed our wives on that. Which was just hilarious, like comedy gold in some of that stuff. Yeah, and then season 3, we didn't get as creative with it, but we had less time. I mean, there was like 4 videos for each of us to make. But season 4, we brought the challenges in.
For me, and I don't know that anybody will appreciate it outside of an editor, but season 4 was a technical masterpiece on both of our ends. I was watching some of your editing, like this. You had some motion graphics. I don't know if you snagged them off of something. It was just like it tied everything in together, and we were sharing the whole vlog pastors, transition that would come at your face, and that was those were technical masterpieces, and they would keep us up all night long working on that.
Correct.
Trying to get
it was.
Trying to get like a blur here, or to move somebody through space. Or I think that season we had clones going through different parts of our video.
Yeah. Well, and then like we did different challenges just for us too. It was like, hey, can you do a whole vlog using a gimbal?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Or just a drone. Or let's do a vlog about our dogs, and it's like, and those are things that I'm so glad that we did.
Yeah. And you would do them, and you would think, for me, I don't know what you were thinking. I was thinking, I don't want to get left behind on this one, because if Joshua comes out with a killer drone video and I use drones half the time, or like a gimbal video and he hates gimbals and I have to use gimbals all the time, I'm going to be frustrated with my effort. So I made sure every time was like, we're going to, as best I can with the time that I have, we're going to make a masterpiece. And I'm glad though, because some of them really hold up.
And that's also when we did editor swap too.
Oh, that was a nightmare. That's a nightmare of a video for me. That was when.
Why? I thought those were great.
No, the videos turned out great. The process was hard. If you recall, I had a terrible,
Well, you had a terrible
day.
time editing it or to record it, because you were recording, I think, 3 or 4 videos at the same time.
I was lost in the headspace. We had some stuff going on in our world, and so I just dumped it on you, and you came out with. I mean, you were very honoring, because I could you could have painted me in a very bad light that particular day because I was frustrated.
This is true. I could have. There was a lot of footage in there, and I was like, "What did he just leave me with?" I think I had to watch through it all a few different times just to try to say, okay, is there any type of a story in here? What can I pull out? But it was beneficial for me because it was a challenge. Like you got my footage and you saw that I record with the edit in mind.
It was clean. You had I think you had maybe 6 clips, and they were all like, you started the camera, you stepped back, one take wondered it, and then you would turn off the camera, and then there would be like B-roll. You could see where you wanted to transition, and then you would sit down, do a different angle, turn on the camera, one take wonder it, which that's not my style. Mine's like, turn on the camera. What do I want to say here? What are we doing, babe? And then we go off down a rabbit trail type of deal. And then, oh yeah, we're supposed to be talking about something, and you made an excellent video for sure.
That was a fun season. It was fun, but even though we started ahead of time, it was less because that was the first time we had done Vlogmas together. So it was only 25 episodes we each had to do. I think because we did. Was that the one we were dropping each of us dropping a video every day versus alternating, right?
I don't think you would have. Are you sure? I don't think you would have gone for that. How did you go for that?
Yeah, because look at here. Here's season 1. There were, I guess this one we did it in the same ones where it was still a season every day. But this one, there was only 1 per day. So there were 2 a day that everybody had to watch.
That's right. So there was,
this was still
to answer the question, swap.
This was still 2 a day that we all had to watch, but it gave me the lead time to be able to do that. And part of that, I think when we were doing the 2 a days was because we wanted people to visit both channels. We didn't want them to have to jump this channel that day, this channel the next day. It was like, you need to be on both channels every single day. Versus that season 3, they did have to bounce from channel to channel, which was the other thing that was a little bit of a struggle, which, okay, we can bring that up and start talking about how would this look? What are the issues with season 5? But potential season 5. It's not definite yet. But before we do that, let's get some of these questions here. So John saying season 5 is about the time frame of when people throw a plot twist and Bo and Luke get replaced by Coy and Vance. Ooh. There's an idea, Jarrod. How about we just toss this on somebody else? Let 2 other guys take off with it.
We've entertained that idea, if you remember. We've entertained finding some other guys to pass this on to.
Vlogtober.
Well, here, hold on. Hear Dean out, because I cannot, Joshua, cannot do Vlogmas. Hear me on this. Please, for the sake of my marriage. If we're going to do it, it's going to have to be sooner rather than later, because I cannot do Vlogmas. That one was the one where my wife steps in and says, no mas. No mas Vlogmas. No mas.
Correct.
Y'all are done with this.
I'm not saying Vlogmas either.
But Vlogtober,
that's a month away.
We got to get on it.
We got to decide whether or not we're even doing it first. Perks saying, thank you, Jarrod. And that would be thank you for me actually entertaining the idea of possibly doing it.
There you go. You're welcome.
Possibly.
You have to understand that part of this is a play, because neither one of us want to. He's just taking the heat this time around, because I don't want to either. It is I want to, in the respect
I want to less than you want to.
I love the back and forth that he and I have. I love the interaction with our audience. I love it's a part of something that's greater than your own channel. I love
Yeah.
that part. I hate what it does. I mean, think about this. Think about what I'm about to say. I hate what it does to my relationship and my family. I hate what it does to the other facets of my life, like church, that I don't have any more energy for, because this is the ministry right now. We are.
Correct.
What are you doing? What's going on in your world? I'm making Vlog Pastor season whatever for the next 30 days.
Right.
What's new? What'd you do last weekend? I edited videos night and day until this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yep. That's where
Just taking the heat
we've
this
got to
time.
figure out if the big I, the big F, if
When?
then what would that look like? Hat flip. Diana says, not planned, but perfectly executed.
I was so impressed with that. I know I
was.
say this every time that clip comes on, but that is still impressive to me. That, like, uncoordinated, over the
Completely.
shoulder, it's rotating and it hits the lens.
One take. Like, perfect. We could never replicate that. If we tried it, it wouldn't. I've got some athleticism in me. I don't think I'm that athletic. Like,
That was
that's like sinking a half quarter, and it was like, no.
So
it's
for
just-
me, I don't want to reach here too far, but to me, those are those special God moments
Right.
where you're like, you know where you're supposed to be, you know you're making something special. That happened, and I had just filmed a couple seasons back. I'd filmed Heart of Many Colors, and that was part of Heart of Many Colors, is where you're filming something and an eagle, swoops down, like you're flying a drone, and the eagle
Yeah.
swoops down right in front of the drone. You're like, that's some National Geographic stuff. I guess, we're supposed to be here for this moment filming this thing. And that's how I
Yeah.
felt whenever you flipped that hat and whenever you grabbed the camera. It was like, oh, we're doing something cool. That was neat.
It was good. Diana saying it wouldn't be so painful if he'd hire an editor that knew his style and vibe. Diana, we've went over this. I will never have anybody else edit my vlogs. No. Just sorry, not gonna happen.
Pretty staunch on
It's just it's too much of my baby. Like, just not. Actually, I'll take this back. I don't like saying never. I will entertain the idea of having an editor edit my vlogs as soon as Casey Neistat does.
You know what's funny? Didn't Dan Mace edit his vlogs for a season? The dogs agree. Looks like you're looking into an editor.
I said entertain.
I know.
Rewind it back. I know it must have been hard, but I got so much inspiration from you guys doing it. I don't know if I'd kept on this YouTube journey without you guys doing it. So thanks.
Yeah, man.
See, and thank you for saying that, Dean. These are the type of comments that we've heard quite a bit, and those are the type of comments that really get me rethinking. Maybe I'm willing to.
Man, just think
Maybe.
about this though. And he's right. You hear these every so often from key people like you guys, and it's like y'all are holding down fort in spheres of folks that we could never reach, and so it's rewarding because the ministry goes on, and through a silly show like Vlog Pastors, where we're talking about what music we listen to and zombies and our favorite Christmas movie, which is my favorite movie, my favorite vlog of yours, by the way.
Which one?
The Christmas.
The
one
Christmas
in
movies where
Vlogmas, where you reenacted it.
5 of them.
I don't know how many times I've seen that. Jesse's just so tired of that one. Like, we watch that regularly. I love that one. It was just spot on. I don't know how. I mean, Santa off the roof, full send. Just
Yeah.
anyway. Vlog
and-
Pastors is why. Yeah, Luke. Tiny little audience over there in Haiti. Look at you.
Yeah.
I've been okay. Real talk. I've watched some of you guys here in the last couple of weeks pretty heavily, and y'all are just like, I don't know I've told this to Josh when we first met, and you can see the results of it now. But like, you're just under that breakout spot. Y'all are probably 2,000-3,000 subscriber channels sitting at much less than what you actually are. And I don't even know how to make that come across in words, but you can see it in in your numbers. You can see it in your storytelling. You can see it in the way that you guys are packaging certain things. Y'all, Luke, all you guys. Dean.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's really the
numbers don't
Christian
make you
space too. The Christian space is the numbers. We could go down a completely different subject, but
no, I get you. It's a sensitive.
If you're trying to put out uplifting, encouraging, faith-filled content, you're not going to get the response that it should be. If you're putting out hot button, controversial, negative.
You didn't like my idea. You didn't like my show idea for today.
No, because
and I didn't either. So that's
not my circus, not my monkeys. I did one of those videos, and you can look back on it. It's still there. I will not take it down. I'll leave the content up. But no, I'm not going to.
I feel the same way, man. It was one of those things but it's tempting, isn't it? It's tempting to hop on those trending topics. Like the show idea that I had for today was last week I was teasing about Matt Chandler, being the Baptist ringleader, and everybody watches too much Matt Chandler, and therefore their mannerisms and things look like Matt Chandler. And then Matt Chandler steps down or is put on forced sabbatical this last weekend, and people are using that thing like a hot button. Not that you shouldn't. If you guys are doing it, go for it. But that's not something that interests me. But it's tempting because it's like that's where the news and information in Christianity is. That's where the scuttlebutt is going on.
Yep.
And it's tempting to say something. However, I don't have anything to. That's what I told you whenever I messaged you, Josh. I don't have anything to say about this. It's just not my. I mean, unless you feel like we need to, because it is trending. It is a significant piece of Christianity. But like, what could you possibly say about a situation he addressed himself and
right?
Like,
well, and I I think I'd said this to you. It's not my circus, not my monkeys.
Yeah.
Like, if it was somebody directly in my camp, and that I have a personal relationship with, and that I have spoken to one-on-one first, then I might consider putting something out. If not, I'm just not going to mess with it. But Diana, you should be good on that. She says, I think that vlog pastors can have a split season that's not a full 30 videos per channel. Do 10, last 1 week. Because she also told us that we did make some killer content that season. Told me that Casey did have an editor, so there you go. Genevieve, she knows me. She says my OCD wouldn't let me give it up.
Let's get to the real. Let's get to the truth of it.
She living in the gap, saying, I could be wrong, but I do believe Vlog Pastors is how I found both of you. Very well could be. I know a lot of people did find us from the Vlog Pastor season. Seasons.
Yeah.
That did come up. And that's cool, because those are the people that are, they're in the comments. They've actually hopped over here to this new channel. That's, I think, sitting on like 29 subscribers.
Yes.
Which maybe here's the thing, go off what Diana's saying. If we have a shorter season.
Heavy on the
if we have a shorter season, a split season, not a full 30 videos per channel. Maybe it's one of those like mid seasons, like in broadcast television, where they do like a short season of like 10 episodes or something like that. Mm-hmm. The mini seasons,
the mini series,
versus like a full 26 episodes or whatever they typically do. If we were to do something like that, I honestly think that because we've had issues with people having to bounce back and forth between different channels, we just drop all those videos on this channel. The Vlog Pastors Season 5, asterisk potentially not guaranteed, would set here on the Vlog Pastors channel.
Heavy on the if.
Thoughts?
For me?
Yeah, on doing it that way.
Oh, putting it on here?
Shorter season and on this channel.
Yeah, I think that would be where we would have to. I've got a couple other ideas about the particulars of that, but I don't want to share that with everybody, because I think that's part of the fun.
Okay.
Whenever they get to see it, and some of the, because we're already talking about it, how we might do some of those episodes. I think the how could be fun, but where it's hosted, yeah, sure, whatever. Right here, there, all around the square.
Diana says, I think Vlogpasters has the potential to become the next type of penny series.
We'll see.
So it depends on how you look at that. I think, yes, there's lots of potential for that, depending on how we would look at that, how we would define what are the potential penny series aspects. The one thing that I did like about the penny series is it brought back daily vlogging and daily vlogging that I enjoyed watching. Like, talk about nostalgia. That brought me back to the Casey Neistat vibes. That brought me back to the moments where every day I knew I was going to have a new vlog from Casey and I'd be able to watch it. That's the thing that I did kind of miss with that. And at least with that one, it was nice because unlike Casey's, where it's just like, I'm going to do this until I stop doing it, with Ryan's, you knew it was done at the end of the month. And he did record that ahead of time.
I so wanted him to continue.
Oh, I wanted him to continue too. And I've been enjoying just the little vlogs on his second channel.
He needed, I get that he needed to put 30 days, especially in the beginning. He needed to say, we're going to do this for 30 days and there's going to be a set endpoint because that'll keep you there. Because even around 15, 16, you're like, okay, I kind of got this thing figured. He's going to win every time.
Yep.
We get it. But at day 30, I didn't want him to stop, but I see the wisdom and why he did.
Yeah.
It made it special. It made it limited. But he had lightning in a bottle.
He did.
Floating coffee hand.
That was a pinky that misfired.
Oh, wait. We can't have that. Genevieve. We can't.
Fine, here.
We can't have it. There we go. There we go. Coffee. There we go.
There's a second misfire. No, I think there's potential in there. What does a potential season 5 look like? Are we going to do a
Do you want to talk
potential?
about it? Are we being serious?
Yeah, I'm being serious. Let's talk about it. Why not just talk about it in front of everybody?
Okay.
I mean, what's the worst?
Are we taking questions or are we talking about this thing? You want to talk about this right now?
I am through all the comments. If you guys got any comments or questions, we can do that. But hey, we're waiting, so you might as well just fire away, Jarrod.
Okay. Well, what does that look like? I think we host it here. I don't. My only hesitation is how do you get it out? Which you're starting from a brand new baby channel right there. How do you get the word out that you're making another season, and how does that tie into something different? So I think if we're heavy on the front end of what this series is about, I think it has to, I do not want to take a series that is repetitive or is in season 5. It's like lost season, whatever. It needs to have an end date, an expiration date, and that expiration date needs to be fantastic. So what I'm thinking is miniseries, sure, if you want to do that, 10 days or whatever, 10 days, 14 days, whatever it is, set time, and it needs to be over the top. It needs to be the best one that we've made. Whether that's in realness, whether that's in technical, whether that's in questions, whether that's in a unique idea, it needs to be the best one that we've made to date. I
think if we wound up using some of what we did in season 4, because season 4 was the best season that we've had.
Ooh, interesting.
If
you think season 4 is the best season that we've had?
I think season 4 is the best one.
I think season 2.1 or whatever that was might have been the best.
Well,
we went to Vegas. And why? These are the particulars that I say we should probably not discuss.
Yeah.
I have my ideas as to why that one stands out amongst people's minds.
Right. I still think I enjoyed, and you just said it, season 4, there are so many of those videos that you watch over and over again. Mm-hmm. That you just keep coming back to because our editing was on point. Our creativity was up. We were comfortable. We were just, we were on the same page with that one. Being on the same page, I think that if we removed season 3, and again, this is no slight against anybody that was in there, but if it went straight from season 2 to season 4, then yeah, I think it would have kept going up. I don't know. I mean, I thought season 4 was the best. And maybe that's just because of some of the ideas and the topics that we were discussing. It seemed like it was a culmination of everything we had tried prior and pulling all that stuff together.
Well, and what would we even ask one another? Because at this point, we have a weekly talk show, so to speak. We've been with each other for years now, 4 years.
Oh, yes, but at the same time, you know as well as I do that we get done with this, 2-hour live stream that we do,
for an hour.
And we hop back on with each other, and we talk for another hour, and we're texting all the way throughout the week. Yeah. There's lots of stuff, that we could cover, that we could talk about. There are definitely things. And quite frankly, we could even take some of the Vlogpasters podcast topics and put those into
which
vlog
I think
format.
Would be fun, because if we did it weekly and we had, what about this? Just no. Do we need the daily? I thought about, like, what if you stretched it out? And so every time that we had one of these, we had a live stream, we had a video that came out that day as well. We could kind of double dip. Question for the day, question, watch the video or whatever. That's kind of long term. I like
that would be maybe long term on the road. That one would definitely require an editor, which of course we're running into a lot of things that I'm just resistant against. Editor, daily vlogging, that type of stuff.
I understand, man, because there's a different, like, living in the gap. Name.
Jake?
Daniel, Jake, help
Maybe.
me out.
Is it?
I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. Anyway, that dude's hitting some. He's editing, man. He's at a level. He's got a pretty good look, pretty good vibe to what he's got going on. And you do something similar. I don't know that I would chance that. I don't think I'd risk that just for. Is it on his page? I see it in your glasses.
I don't know. I was looking. I had it here somewhere and something else, but I don't even remember where I had it or what I was doing. But, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and that's the thing. Like with trying to editor out things. I don't know. Like this whole thing is
like I came across. Let me just say, I came across his videos again, fresh and new the other day, and I was like, the quality, the craftsmanship that goes. There's a look, and those of us who edit our own stuff and spend a lot of time making sure it looks and is crafted a certain way, that's hard to transfer over to an editor. There's just a noticeable difference, he says.
Yep. I don't know. Diana says that season 2.1 gets her vote because you were in person and in sync.
Well, you were there and you were in it, I would imagine.
Yeah, exactly. She was making cameos in that thing. I think what needs to be considered is character development. You both have grown through the pandemic, family stuff, etc., since your last season.
Oh, that's a good point. Sorry. Let's just stop right here. You've both grown through a pandemic, family stuff since the last season. In the past, we've had to respect that, like, it's hosted on my channel. We're going back and forth with you. Is there going to be any boundaries there? I tend to get a little out there. My views aren't well received. I mean, if we host our content,
I think if it's on
YouTube,
this channel, it's a little bit easier to put out there.
What do you mean? Because if my channel gets shut down or demonetized or whatever, or demonetized, it'd have to be monetized first.
What would happen if this one got shut down? Whatever.
I wouldn't feel bad though. Well, I mean, if I was posting my videos on your channel, I would feel bad. But like if mine goes down, it's like whatever. But if it was on Vlogpasters and it shut down because of something that this Yahoo said,
Oh, I would think it would be hilarious, and then I'd make a vlog on my channel about how you killed my second channel or third channel or my 18th channel. Like, that's just more content.
That's so true.
But it's different when it's like our personal channels, because we've been the ones really driving it. And I think you would understand that even when we did that editor swap, that even just the idea of us doing the editor swap, what's going to happen on here. And of course we still had veto power with that. We still had veto power on any of the topics that would have got discussed. If we didn't want to share it, we didn't have to. We could have just made a video on anything, but I'm not concerned with about what you're going to say and what you would say. But as far as she's talking about it, especially with the, the character development on it. Yeah, I think there's still stuff that we could talk about in there. And I do think that a potential season 5, I think we've got lots of things that we can discuss, even if we did back and forth asking us questions. Now, are there going to be as many questions? No. Do we put in some challenges? Yes. Do we put in some creative elements? Like, even when we did the, the lightning round stuff. Like, that was kind of that creative stuff that it's like, hey, if you're just looking for like faith-filled content that is like Bible preaching, yeah, not what you're going to find over here. But if you're looking something that is coming from a faith perspective that is encouraging, and it's not going to be discouraging, and it's not going to lead you away from faith, this is kind of where you want to be. So that aspect of it, that's what all the other seasons have been. Like, there's been stuff like, we were talking zombie apocalypse. Like, come on. And you wound up pulling out an arsenal, and I wound up pulling out like a heart attack and a burger. So it was like, we went all over the place. I think there's potential there. My big thing comes with the practicality of what does that practically look like? Because a daily vlogging thing is a negative ghostwriter for me. Not going to happen. I'm not opposed to daily vlogging.
No, I'm glad.
I'm opposed to having a deadline attached to any of my stuff.
Ooh, that's going to be hard though, because we have to have a deadline if we're going to collaborate on some of this stuff.
But do we have to? What if we
sooner or later we have to let it loose? We have to let it fly.
So what if we were to sit there and say, okay, we're going to do let's split the difference between a 10 and a 30 and say it's a 20 episode season.
Okay.
That we're going to drop. So we're going to drop a 20 episode season, which is going to be shorter than every other season that we've had, because they were 50, 60, 70 almost videos in those. It would be the closest to season 3, but that was bouncing around on all the others. So let's say it was a 20 season episode, and we don't put it in with any of the other challenges of a Veda or a Vlogist or a Vlogmas. And we just say, we are going to create 20 vlogs, and then we're going to upload them so that the audience can consume them on a daily basis over 20 days.
You're still going to need a deadline.
And then we just, once we would decide, all right, let's do this, we figure out the practicality. Is that I do a video, you do a video? Is it we do a joint video, whatever that looks like? And then we just and once we have 20 videos, then we hit publish on the whole season.
I can't, it's like a wound I can't stop picking at now. What's the deal? What's the thing with a deadline?
I don't want to have sleepless nights.
No.
Life happens.
You're thinking making it, sending it. Let's just say the series
I'm not
doesn't
thinking
come out
making
until...
send it, make it, send it. I'm thinking make all of it and then send all of it.
Yeah, that's exactly. But you're still going to need a deadline. So that's December.
Why is that a deadline?
So let's say December, January, March of next year. Make something that where your
Here's
anxiety
what my thoughts
goes
are.
away.
If we were to start, tomorrow is September 1st. If we were to take Dean's idea of doing a Vlogtober, I don't want to have to try to finish 10, 20 videos in the next 30 days.
Are you saying 20 a piece?
No.
20 total.
Even if it's alternating, I don't want to have the deadline
10 videos.
I have to get all of these extra 10 because this is extra into everything else that I'm already creating.
I'm daily vlogging this month, so yeah, I feel you.
I don't want to have to add 10 extra videos in a 30-day period to try to get them out by that time. What I would be in favor of is, if we were to do this, why don't we just start recording it? And then once we have them all recorded and edited, or at least we see a logical time frame. If we got to September 15th and you and I just knocked out 20 episodes in 15 days, yeah, we just let everybody know, hey, it starts October 1st. But if we're at episode number 15 of 20 and it's the 25th of the month, no, it's not coming out October 1st. It might be November. And if it takes me 3 months to come out with my fair share of these, it may be March of 2023. That's kind of what I'm saying.
Is we may never see season 5 released ever.
Hey, I told you it was a giant if. But the thing that I would entertain is us at least looking through what would we do as far as trying to set up a season.
Okay.
And to me, let's go back traditional forms of media and how they do shows.
Okay.
Let's get into the pre-production phase. Let's get the script, the outline, whatever it was. Let's start recording these. And once we know we have the season wrapped, then we start promoting it and we send it out there. That's something I would at least start to entertain. And then my capital I, capital F is now a lowercase I, lowercase f.
But could you say you're working with a production company and they need to be paid at a certain time, or like they need to be able to do other pieces of the puzzle? Could you let them know when that series might possibly be coming out?
I don't know.
Because that would, before they even undertook the assignment of, are we going to make this thing or not? Are we devoting 3 months to this? Is this 6 months to this? Is this 8 months to this?
I don't know, and that's why I would say we would definitely need to get at least through the pre-production and planning phase of a season 5 to at least know what is this practically going to look like. And if all of that stuff was laid out, then we're getting closer.
Oh, you're in.
For the if being a win.
Oh, you're in.
But
we're just talking turkey. We're talking details now. You're in.
You say talking details, but yet I've sat here and I've got, where is this thing? Look at this. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos just right on there that are waiting for me to start recording. And my brain, like, I've been struggling recently with multitasking. I used to be good at that. I think it's because I never really was a multitasker. I was just good at balancing and juggling a lot of plates that were spinning at the same time. And now my eyesight has dwindled and my muscles have become older and fatigued. And now I drop plates left and right. So I've got to make like one after another. I've just got to make it, send it, make it, send it, make it, send it. That's where the practicality comes in. How does this fit in with everything else that I've got and I'm doing and I'm working towards? If it can fit without taking away from that stuff, I'm willing to do it. Even though Diana says stop holding content and edits hostage, release the Kraken, or however they spell it.
No, Diana.
I get it.
It's got to be in order.
I hear it, but some things just don't make it through. So anyways, where does that leave us for a season 5? Do you think, let me ask you this, because this is going to be on you. You know full well I am a giant if on this. It's like so big it's going off the screen. Do you think that you and I can plan, strategize, and get some type of a system in place that won't traumatize me and leave me twitching? Do you think that's possible?
Do we even want to make something where you're not that way at the end?
This is why, hey, you sit there and think I'm going to. I'm telling you, this is a giant, a huge if.
Oh, you're
like
in.
here's
Season
like it's the same thing.
Coming.
It's the same thing for me with pro wrestling when I said I'm not getting back in the ring. When I got back in the ring, I mean, you can go, I think that thing's online. You can watch the match. All I did was walk in. I think I punched him a couple times. I climbed on the top rope. I hit my crotch on the top turnbuckle, and I was done.
Video. It was a good
like,
video.
I didn't do anything. So I didn't get hurt. The rest of them, they want to start doing stuff, getting hurt. No, I've learned my lesson. I've learned how to go back and bring back nostalgia without incurring injuries. Season 5 will not injure me, because if it's going to injure me, I just won't do it. So that's why it's a giant if. And that's why I'm asking you.
Yes.
Do you think we can get a pre-production 100%. Plan organization that will work for me?
Here's the thing. Is it possible? Yes, 100%. We can do this. I cannot speak for you on what you're willing to compromise in order to get that done, because we can do this. I think you're starting to see where there's some choke points and some stuff that will have to be cleared up beforehand. But yeah, I think with the right planning, I think with the right systems in place, we can totally do it.
And you're willing for it to not look the same. Like, I mean, put it on this channel. You're good with that.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't have to follow the Veda Vlogust Vlogmas format.
Nope.
And
I don't think it can.
And we can record them, at least have all of the recording done, the production done before we announce a release date on it.
Here's what has to happen for me. Yeah, no, I mean, it's yes, you're gonna get whatever you need to make this thing happen. We're gonna have a season 5. You don't know this yet. We're gonna have a season 5. The problemo is for me to be authentic to my audience, the audience that I have in here is it needs to have a feel of live and right, not off the cuff, but just an authentic element to it. So
it needs to be real. It needs to be relatable. It needs to be authentic.
Yes.
It needs to have a little bit of that real-time daily vlog feel without the urgency.
Yeah. Yep. That.
All right. Well, I guess that means keep your eyes peeled for a release date on season 5. And now I'm out of coffee. And I don't want to talk about this anymore. So until next week, stay blessed, enjoy God's best, and have a fantastic week.